Hey, what's up? Raul Lopez Jr. here. Yes, you saw the title. Somebody tried to beat me up today. Look at my hair's all twisted. This guy was so mad, and all I could think of is what is the story that he was telling himself up to the point of approaching me. And it's just it's I empathize for these guys twice in the last month. Two people have misinterpreted or misunderstood what I'm doing or what I've done by a complete mistake, and I've blown little tiny things into proportion. And all I can think of is what is the story these guys are telling us of what's going through their mind to build them up to be so upset and so angry. So let me tell you one view that I have about what are the stories that we tell ourselves. First of all, this guy pulls up next to me in my car. I'm at a red light, and he pulls up next to me in my truck. And I'm just sitting, looking forward for the most part, waiting for the light to change. But, you can feel when somebody's staring at you, just like his eyes are beaming at me, right? And I kind of look over, and I can see he's, like, staring at me with this weird look on his face. And I look back forward, and I can still kind of feel him. So I look over again, and he's just, like, on me. Bing! Superman rays just burning my face. So I kind of look at him and I go, what? Like what? What's going on? And he does more of a like, what's up, man? Like, you want to fight type motion. And I just kind of looked at him and I go, I don't know what your problem is. So he rolls down his window in the car next to me. So I roll down my window and I kind of look over at him. And he says, in a form of a question, do you always cut people off without using your blinker? And honestly, I didn't remember doing that. And if I did, I didn't do it on purpose. And I thought, wow, this all comes to my mind really quick. I thought, wow, I wonder how long he's been following me to get up next to me to say that. And I wonder what's going through his mind that he's so angry that he's just staring at me. If I got in front of him without using on my blinker, which I may have. I mean, he said I did, and he was really upset about it, so I may have. And then he let it bother him and just sink in his head. What is he thinking to himself, and what are the stories he's saying, and the anger that he built up, that he pulled up next to me like so angry that he wanted to fight. So he says, he said, do you always cut people off without using your blinker? Something to that. And I looked at him and I could see his anger. And I think what people look for when they're speaking to you like that is they want the same energy back. They want to get into an altercation and go back and forth. And not a few years ago, but years ago when I was younger, it would have been a different story the way I handled it. I would have got out of the car and we would have been on a YouTube video road rage. But I looked over and he said, do you know what he said? And I looked at him. I felt this empathy for him because he was so upset over such a minor thing. And I said, I didn't mean to. I apologize. I said, I didn't mean to do that. I apologize. And he was shocked. He was shocked. He looked at me like, what? And I saw in his face, the eyes never lie. I saw in his face, I saw in his eyes, he thought, how stupid is this? You know what I mean? He realized like his energy and where it was at. And but he didn't want to, back down. So he just kind of looked at me and he's like, whatever. He kind of goes like this. And then I said, hey, have a good day, man. And he was rolling up his window, and he just looks at me, and he kind of goes like that again. And then he drove off, and then I drove off. And I thought, man, poor guy. Because he's probably going to carry that, hopefully not for long, but he's probably going to carry that for the next few minutes driving down the road. He's probably going to go home and tell the story. I mean, who knows what he's going to do. I'm not really worried about it. But what happens is we carry those types of things in us, and we have these stories that we tell ourselves. What may he have been thinking to get him so angry? This guy disrespected me. This guy cut me off. This guy's a jerk. This guy's an A, whatever. I mean, all these things that built up in his head that he pulled up next to me, and he had to say something. He wanted an altercation, and I didn't give it back to him. I didn't feed it. I just said, hey, I apologize. I didn't mean to do that. And I told him to have a good day. And I don't think he liked that either, but it did de-escalate the situation. So what are the stories that we tell ourselves? Another example that happened, I said there were two. This video is getting long. But I sent somebody a link, right? And I sent them a link, and there was a price on the top. And then you click the link, and you could make a payment. And when you click the link, the payment was a different price. And it was a mistake. I didn't know. I tried to change a rate from one rate to another, but I didn't realize I had to switch it in two spots. And I just changed the main face. I changed it. I saw it. I go, oh, okay, there it is. And This guy replies to me, really upset again. You disrespected me, and you're trying to get over on me. And he asked it in the form of a question, too. That's why I connected these two. I thought, wow, what are the stories that these people are telling themselves? I empathize with them because I used to be like that. And he replied in a question. He's after calling me names and suggestions and all these things that I had done to him that I honestly don't think that I did. I know I didn't, in fact. He said, why don't you tell me, or why don't you explain to me why there's a different rate? And he kind of went through what was going on. And again, I just replied and I said, oh, I'm sorry. This is a new program for me. I made a mistake. Let me fix it and I'll resend it to you. And then I also said, hey, man, I hope you're feeling okay, because I seriously wasn't trying to get over on you. And, I thought we were friends, and I apologized to him too. But what was the buildup? Because that was actually a matter of a couple of days that was going on. What was the buildup in the mind and the stories that this person was telling himself to get to that level of just being so upset and feeling disrespected in these things? I'm here to tell you that we do it to ourselves. We do it to ourselves. There's stories and stories and stories. Simple thing. The guy in the car could have just ignored me. Could have just said, oh, whatever. I mean, people cut me off all the time. I don't care. He could have just ignored me and, went on with his day and not had to say anything or give me the looks. And the other guy could have simply sent me a message and said, hey, what did you mean by that? Or, hey, did you see this link is mixed up? Can you please fix it? And that would have been it. And I would have apologized and I would have fixed it. But the stories that we tell ourselves get us all fired up, and we're triggering these stress hormones and these anger things inside us, and we end up replying or having an outburst and just being upset over nothing. So I don't know if you guys have examples of that, or I don't know if you get quick to anger, but think about it. That's just maybe a tool you can think about, the story that you're telling yourself. Listen to what your mind is telling you when something around you isn't comfortable, or when something around you doesn't go the way that you want. And that's called our blueprint. And we'll get more into that. Have a great day. Raul Lopez Jr. here, author, speaker, coach, author of Heal the Boy and the Man Will Appear, a book that you'll love. It's life-changing. I get great messages about it all the time. Love and blessings. Have a great day.